I remember listening to that album as a kid, and I was just like, yo, this dude's he's from Africa, he's from where I'm from, and he's killing it like this. And it removed some mentality in my head that I had of thinking that where I am is gonna limit me from reaching, where I'm supposed to get. What's up, world? It's KGL's finest, Freshie the Dove, Hungry Brown, TheDiceKid. I'm here, I'm rolling with Hooks&Jabz. You guys wanna get to know me? Let's make it happen. First question we got, for people who don't know you, who is TheDiceKid? For people who do not know you, who is TheDiceKid? TheDiceKid is an artist, started doing my thing, around 16. Now it's like my main goal is to curate the culture and contribute and lay the foundation for, the next generation of hip-hop heads, hip-hop artists, just great artists in general, to be able to just like have something to look up to as a, as a figure, especially in an industry, a fresh industry. So TheDiceKid is the artist. Next question, why TheDiceKid? Most people like to mix it up with my brother, Dice the Prince. But it's TheDiceKid. I like this question because I get to really address this first. It's TheDiceKid. TheDiceKid basically comes from a concept that I had about different versions of me that represent who I am as an artist, my different passions, that, my love for fashion, my love for the arts, for cinema, all those different variations of myself that make up who I am as an artist. So it's just like a cube. It's like a die. It just has different sides of me. So that's how my name came about. And the kid, I used to be a big fan of WizKid back in the day. One of the people who made me actually like really fall in love with music. Before I discovered, rap music, I was a huge WizKid and Wiz Khalifa fan. So I just wanted to add that element to my name, so it became TheDiceKid. And then later I just added TheDiceKid to make it a little bit more dramatic. But yeah, that's the concept. It's TheDiceKid. TheDiceKid, one word. Get it right, guys. Get it right. Next question. What's that one thing about you that people wouldn't guess unless they really knew you? Well, you really gotta know me. I can't tell you that one thing. You just gotta know me. If you don't know me, then there's not one thing you shouldn't not know about me. So you just really gotta know me. So if you know me, you know me. How do you hate the know me when you never knew me like that? It's one of my favorite lyrics, like ever. So like, get to know me, and then you get to fall down that rabbit hole of how genius my mind is. Yes, sir. Still rolling with Hooks&Jabz, man. There's some real questions. Next question. What's your idea of a good day with no work involved? Damn, we don't sleep, we stay working. But I like to chill with the boys, just sit over some cold drinks, just chop it up and talk about ideas, talk about goals, plan together. I like to sit with people who I share the same vision with and just talk. I'm a very good conversationalist. I really love to talk to people and interact. So if I'm not working, I'm with the boys, man. It's either we're going to like hoop or something, or we're just sitting somewhere, in the neighborhood, just chopping it up. If I'm not working, I'm with the homies. Next question. Top 3 hidden but goated food spots in KGL. Yes, sir. Let me see. I got three. First one, 3 Chaps. You guys gotta come to 3 Chaps. 3 Chaps is an amazing place that most of where I spend my day is at a place called Kigali Multimedia Hub, and that's where I usually spend the rest of my week. So 3 Chaps is a place where I just when I leave the studio, I go get like a little chicken wrap, or you know, like a sandwich or something, some potato wedges. Perfect place to be. Second place, I'll have to say Buns. Buns is one of those places where, like, you know, best sandwich in the city without a doubt. If you haven't been to Buns, come on, man, you're missing out. And nobody is paying me to say this, by the way. I'm just saying places that I go to. I don't know about you guys. Last spot really has to be, I like Gate 10. Gate 10 is pretty dope. Just like a chill place to go to, you know. Places in Kimura are usually some nice spots there, you know. So top 3 hidden gems. I don't know if they're hidden, but most people, I don't think people knew 3Chaps. But now you know. Yes, sir. Stay healthy. Get your nutrition. Yes, sir. Let's go. Talk about Infinity Pack as a whole project and tell us your favorite song on it. Infinity Pack was a very introspective and reflective, conscious project for me, you know. I cooked it up with my brother Ehlers. Shout out to my brother Ehlers. Ehlers is the GOAT producer, the best. I feel like he's the best producer in this country. But Infinity Pack was a concept that I came up with, you know, basically talking about essentials you need to you know, embark on a never-ending life journey. Because I feel like life doesn't stop from just like Earth. We just keep going. And there are things, so many things that perish with time. And the things that never perish with time are things of the heart. And the things of the heart don't perish with time. So you need peace, you know, you need love, you need patience, you know, you need to be kind, you know, you need to embrace the human experience and take everything in. So my favorite song on Infinity Pack definitely has to be Luckily Unlucky, because it's a song where I really dive deep into my mind and how I managed to cope with what I was coping with in that time. And I was able to just like really, you know, solve that problem for myself and really, you know, like bury those wounds within those raps. So luckily, unlucky, fortunately, unfortunate. It's a good and bad thing that whatever you're going through it. You just have to go through it. You know, what makes a man is going through. You just have to go through it all, you know? So I feel like it's something that is inspiring for a lot of individuals that need some encouragement, a little push to keep going. Yeah, man, tap in, man. You got your Infinity Pack. Yes, sir. When you're building a track, what hits first? Beats, bounce, or bars? The first thing is the beat. If it's a dope beat, I like cooking from scratch. Usually a lot of producers send me beats and it doesn't necessarily like, I don't gravitate towards them immediately. Usually takes some time when a producer sends me a beat. I might record on the beat like after a year, or even sometimes it's just like immediately the next day. So I like live studio cookups. I like to be in the room with the producer and we just cook up from scratch. And then the moment I hear the beat, next thing that comes is the bars. Obviously, you know, those ones stay clutch, they're not going anywhere. And then we make a hit song, and then we make some bangers. Beats and bars. Hooks&Jabz. Yeah, still rolling, man. It's the TheDiceKid. I hope you guys are entertained wherever you are across the world. You know, you're rolling with Kigali's finest, the best in the city, without a doubt. You gotta go to an engineer or producer, or you're moving around with it. Do I gotta move with my own studio setup, or do I have a producer that I go check out? So I work with different producers, mainly Khabib. Khabib is another dope producer. He recently just did a song together with DJ Rusam, first single. It was amazing. It's called Talent. You should go check it out. So Khabib, usually now I'm working more with Khabib because we find ourselves in the same setting. And obviously Ehlers, I like working with Ehlers. Every time I work with Ehlers, it's just like Good vibes, good vibes. And then we got Junie. Junie Quickly is another madman, you know. But then obviously I gotta give my props to Kuba, because Kuba is also like one of those guys you just tap in with and immediately, boom, boom, just make some dope sounds, like something very different. If you want to make something very different, you gotta tap in with Kuba, because he has the ear. But yeah, those are my go-to producers. I'm not a producer. I don't know how to produce. I feel like it would be very hectic for me if I have to produce and write my own songs. I don't know how people like J-Ro his music. I don't know how he does that. He produces his own songs and he writes them. He's just a different breed of an artist. Shout out to him too, you know. But yeah, Khabib, Ehlers, Junie, Kuba. That's where I be at. Yes, sir. Top 5 GOAT albums. Wow. Top 5 GOAT albums. Good Kid, Mad City. I have to give it to Good Kid, Mad City. I gotta go with, Kendrick Lamar. And then I gotta give one to Bad Hair and Nasty C. I remember listening to that album as a kid, and I was just like, yo, this dude's he's from Africa, he's from where I'm from, and he's killing it like this. And it removes some mentality in my head that I had of thinking that where I am is gonna limit me from reaching, where I'm supposed to get, So those were one of the albums that I heard, and I was just like, yo, it's MCs across the continent, like going crazy. Like, what am I waiting for? Like, Dice, go get them, you feel me? And then I have to give one to For Your Eyes Only, J. Cole. That's a very beautiful project. And then obviously I have to go with Kanye, Graduation. I think those are like 4 already. And then last one, Infinity Pack. That's a GOAT album. I feel like it's timeless music, man. Stuff like that you can't just get right now, but once it's all said and done, things like those live forever, Things like those finally clock it, and you just understand, like, yo, this was here all along. And then by that time, more GOAT albums will be there, Next time I come here, the 5 GOAT albums are all gonna be mine. You feel me? Yes, sir. What's your ideal studio setup? I like peace and quiet, I don't like 100 niggas in the studio and they're not doing anything. I just want to be with the producer. If I'm with another artist, it's writing. I like good vibes. Anything that messes up the vibe in the studio, yo, you just gotta get out, You gotta get out and do your thing. I don't want anybody coming in the studio giving me any feedback. I don't need feedback. I just want to be in the studio with the producer. I don't like many people in the studio, so my ideal studio setup, some LED lights, chill, and then just me and the producer cooking, man. No other weird frequencies messing up the vibe, because so many people can mess up the vibe, and then next thing you know, you're just making some trash music, So keep the niggas that are not making the music out of the studio, unless they're really there for a specific purpose. You like their energy. Keep everybody else out of the studio. To be honest, that's how you make good music. Just you and the producer focus on the work. Most people be like, yo, I need to, grab my drink first and spark up first. Nah, bro, you're there to work. You just go, do your work. When you're done, go get your smokes, go get your drink, go get whatever you need. But in the studio, you just gotta lock in and focus on the art. You feel me? Focus on the art, man. Focus on the art. For people who don't know you, okay. I think that's the last of my questions. Anyways, man, you've been rolling with the TheDiceKid. I'm here with Hooks&Jabz. I'm about to go drop some bars for you guys, and I'll catch you in the next segment. Get on Dicey. Let's go. Welcome back to the second segment. Right now I'm gonna be dissecting my own song, Salty Rappers. Let's get into it, man.
How you hate to know me when you never knew me like that? Assume that you illuminate, contributing to my path. Another one that bet that does someone and not a life hacks. That was so naive of me to think that you won't bite back. Don't know where I would be in this world.
How you hate to know me when you never knew me like that? I assumed that you was a lumen that's contributing to my path. So basically this song is basically me reflecting on the journey and relationships within the journey, and talking about how, you know, certain people have an idea of you based on how they perceived you from the past, or how they had some sort of relationship with you in the past, and they think that they got you figured out, they know exactly who you are. But you know, I contradict that and I say, you know, how do you hate this new version of me when you don't even know and never known any other version of me, you know? So when I say I assume that you a lumen that's contributing to my path, it's just me basically saying, like, I really thought you was one of those people who were gonna, like, you know, ride with me on this journey and, you know, help me get where I'm supposed to get. But unfortunately, you know, human beings are very tricky individuals. So yeah, I reflect on the journey and I reflect on relationships within the journey. Keep going.
Don't know where I would be in this world if I ain't write rap. So bro, you got a nice flow. He ain't really all that. All they do is cap to you, nothing like a nice hat. I just want a good life, blessings on some good man. Angel on my back, but the devil's in.
Don't know where I would be in this world if I didn't write raps. Oh bro, you got a nice flow. He ain't really all that. Literally, I don't know what I'll be doing in this world if I think that's very self-explanatory. For the next line, bro, you got a nice flow. It's just like people being fake, you know, people being fake and giving you fake compliments. I don't like fake compliments. I don't like secondhand compliments. You know, if it's genuine, let it be genuine. But most people, they just say things because they feel like they have to say things, you know? And like I said, the whole song, I'm just navigating through relationships and interactions and across this musical journey. And then in the end, I get to reach a self-reflective state where I talk about how I cannot let all these things that are supposed to make me bitter turn me into a salty rapper. You know, that's why I named the song Salty Rappers. Yeah, let's keep going.
Angel on my back, but the devil's in the details. God still prevails. Label me the poster child of greatness when the kid trails. No target on my back, kid ever lived to tell you these tales. The booth is where I flow, sit and watch him as he unveils. You witnessing the prospect.
Angel on my back, but the devil's in the details. God still prevails. Label me the poster child of greatness when this shit trails. Label me the poster child of greatness when the kid trails. You know, am I supposed to curse? Yeah? Label me the poster child of greatness when the kid trails. So basically, you know, like when it's all said and done, the most important things that I need, which is, you know, God and family and my skill, you know, when it's all said and done, it all makes sense. Like you get to see the fruits of my labor in front of the world, in front of everything, you know. And that's how it goes, you know. So when it's all said and done, it all makes sense, you know. They gonna know me as a kid. They gonna know me as a kid who really made it overseas, you know. So yeah, when it's all said and done, it all makes sense. Let's keep going.
Truth is in the process, proof is in the context. Cash rules everything, your money just an object. Show you where the mind's at, I'm searching where the soul's at. Cause everybody goes apart a bit for the time being. Picture over life with you with someone be ideal.
So that next line, you know, cash rules everything, your money just an object, shows you where the mind's at. You know, I reflect on the things that people gravitate towards to most of the times, which is, you know, things of objects that are not of any specific spiritual value. And me personally, my goal is to make people feel. I'm gunning for the heart. I want to make the world, you know, feel again, you know. And most people are money-minded. They're in for their own self-interest. So it's important to know your purpose in this world and know how you want to cement your purpose in this world. So, yeah, man. Talk about people, and I talk about what moves the people and the type of things that people gravitate towards and fight for that are not of any essential value when it's all said and done. Keep going.
Over life with you with someone be ideal. I want to feel more, be somebody's hero. How these kids dying, it's not cause they weak, bro. Like maybe cerebro, assassin, ego.
So after talking about what moves the people and what, you know, like what human beings really scavenge for, I'm shining a light on, you know, the things that people should really actually pay attention to, like all these kids that are dying and all these little things that people deem as weaknesses and defects and diseases. You know, I feel like people should be more empathetic and focus on the things that really matter, which are matters of the heart, and taking care of your brothers and sisters, and you know, just like being together and fighting for unity, fighting for something that actually means something instead of just being money-minded and greedy, you know. So that's why, you know, shows you where the heart's at, you know. All these kids dying, it's not because they weak, it's because they don't have the right guidance. They're not feeling anything, and it's important for you to feel, you know. That's what makes a human being, you know, feel. You need to embrace the world, you need to embrace everything and embrace love, and actually learn to receive that love as well, you know. So let's focus on the real things that matter, you know, people, human beings. Yeah.
Like made me cerebro, assassin, ego, detaching, 2 tabs of acid, loopholes and magic, ways and mastered. A being people, but only you that mattered. First time I heard
ego detaching, 2 tabs of acid, loopholes and magic, ways and mastered. That's just some dope wordplay. But you know, ego death is a very good step to any human being's evolution. I feel like if you need to evolve, you need to completely destroy your ego, you know. Go and apologize to some people and tell them, yo, I'm not trying to carry any burdens of hate, any burdens of negativity, you know. It was just me moving on from, you know, as I get closer to overcoming my bitterness and my anger, you know. I'm talking about ego detachment. I'm talking about, you know, like, yo, I'm just ready to move on this journey and let go of burdens of hate, you know. And then I speak on the next line, I speak on, like, you know, last time I heard you talk, you wasn't saying nothing. I was learning love and hate in the same subject. You know, basically just me talking about a specific relationship that, you know, I didn't value in the past, and when the silence steeped in, it made me realize how much I neglected something that precious, and it taught me a lesson, you know. It taught me a lesson that, yo, sometimes silence could be your best teacher, you know. So for me, moving on and self-reflecting, I get to realize my faults and everything I've done wrong, and I move on to the next verse to work on myself and see how I can better myself personally, you know. So we come from talking about relationships and how they make you feel and how they can turn you to a bitter person and how they can make you, you know, an angry person, you know. And then we talk about overcoming that and ego detachment and crushing your ego and just like focusing on positivity and pushing forward without any malice in your heart, because that's how you get to your goals faster, you know. Let it go of burdens of hate, you know. Yes, sir. Move
First
on.
time I heard you talk, you wasn't saying nothing. I was learning love and hate in the same subject. I was trying to elevate, restrain from being plunging. Your best friends gas you and then you pass judgment. Pass remedy.
Yeah, so like I said, you know, first time I heard you talk, you wasn't saying nothing. I was learning love and hate in the same subject. I was trying to elevate. So it's basically me explaining myself. Like I was too focused on this. I was too focused on my career goals. I was too focused on, you know, bettering myself, and I neglected certain, you know, responsibilities and certain holding myself accountable for the people who matter in my life. And you know, you get to when you're too lost in those translations, you know, you get to neglect things that really matter. So it's me just self-reflecting and explaining myself to this individual, you know, who cares about me, and basically tell them how I've been trying to, you know, navigate and work on myself in this crazy life journey. You know?
And then you pass judgment,
Sure.
Past remedy was looking up to who I wasn't. Now I'm looking down at everything that I'm becoming. Don't know what is worse, being clowned or keep on juggling. Balancing the truth cause only you and me something. Loyalty is priceless when you're trying to achieve something that's bigger than the world, but everybody.
Past remedy was looking up to who I wasn't, but now I'm looking down at everything that I'm becoming. Past remedy was looking up to who I wasn't, but now I'm looking down at everything that I'm becoming. Don't know what is worse, being clowned or keep on juggling. Balancing the truth, because to only you, it means something. So like, you know, it's still on that, you know, self-reflective, apologetic tone, where I'm just like, you know, talking about how like I used to see certain people that I was trying to be like, and when I finally got to be like those people, I was disappointed in myself, because the most important thing was to be myself instead of trying to be like somebody else, you know? So that's why I say, you know, I don't know what is worse, staying on a path of fighting for what you believe in, or just like, you know, being clowned by everybody, and everybody just like, who's this guy? What is he doing? How is he doing this like this? Why is he different, you know? So it was a realization, coming to an understanding of self, you know? Looking down at everything that I'm becoming is coming to a realization of self, and understanding that the most important thing that I had to do was just be myself and focus on positivity, you know? So moving forward, I came to, you know, to that realization. It's like, you know what, like, I'm gonna keep pushing my stride. I'm gonna keep, you know, pushing my convictions, and keep striving to be the best version of myself, you know?
That's bigger than the world, but everybody mean mugging, trying to scare you out of hope, but you just keep jumping. I got deep regrets, I hit the reset button. Teacher tell you drawn from an empty well, I dwell in my capacity to propel heights you can't imagine.
Teach and tell you drawn from an empty well, I dwell in my capacity to propel heights you can't imagine in your lone shell. Cycling through scraps of hope and hold still. If it means that much to you, then you gon' kill. You know, we have the ability to never stop fighting for things that we love. You know, every human being has the sole ability to endure anything for the things that they love. You know, I feel like if it means that much to you, if you want to be an artist, if you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a soldier, if you want to be whatever you want to be on earth, every human being has the soul endurance to fight for what they love, you know? So if it means that much to you, man, trust me, you're gonna get it. And yeah, so for me, moving on from that stage of, you know, self-reflection, now it's like I'm moving forward and like, you know, actually like tapping into my ambitions and actually talking about what I'm doing to get to where I'm supposed to get. And I've moved on from, I've unburdened myself of any piece of negativity that might keep me from, you know, being the TheDiceKid, you know, being myself. Yes, sir.
Propel heights you can't imagine in your lone shell. Cycling through scraps of hope and hold still. If it mean that much to you, then you gon' kill. For real. Last year I linked up with my idol and he dapped me up. Spit a little verse for him, told me that I'm cold as fuck. I believe in God, I don't think about owning luck. I knew who I was ever since a little bug, trying to chase a little bug. I could be.
Last year I linked up with my idol and he dapped me up. Spit a little verse for him, he told me that I'm cold as fuck. I believe in God, I don't think about owning luck. I know who I was ever since a little buck, trying to chase a little buck. I could be stuck, my raps can even suck. Shit, life can even get tough, but I can never be a salty rapper. So now these are proclamations, these are affirmations that I'm giving to myself. You know, I talk about meeting one of my idols and getting a chance to rap for him and just seeing that type of validation from somebody you looked up to since a little kid and somebody who actually got you rapping. You know, so I reflect on that. I reflect on how that moment was significant to my life. And I talk about how things like these are not, you know, they're not things of luck. I don't believe in luck, I believe in God. I believe everybody has a sole purpose that God has put them on earth for, and I believe that there's no such thing as a coincidence. I was supposed to be where I was supposed to be that day, and you know, getting to meet somebody like that, one of the greatest to ever do it, you know, and getting that type of validation from one of the greats was something that really stuck to my heart, and it put me on, changed my mindset on how I view idols, how I view people that, you know, I don't want to put anybody else ever put anybody on a pedestal. Actually, it's very important for you to build your own pedestal and focus on actually, you know, getting yourself to where you're supposed to get and actually absorbing your you know, your energy and knowing exactly who you are, so you can actually inspire more younger youth, younger generation, lay the foundation. So you cannot be a fan if you're a curator of the culture, if you're trying to lay a foundation, you can't be a fan. You can only be a student, you can only be humble, you can only appreciate things and learn, but remove the idea of idols in your head, you know, because they just make you an observer and not a doer, you know. You need to contribute to, you know, to the art. You need to contribute to this big puzzle that keeps falling apart every day by, you know, other external forces, you know. So you need to be somebody that's actively contributing, not somebody that's just like observing and you know, cheering people on. Do something, you know. So I believe in God. I don't think about owning luck. I knew who I was ever since IGIHE. I knew that there was something in me that was big, and that's all God.
I know who I was ever since a little bug, trying to chase a little bug. I could be stuck, my raps can even suck. Shit, life could get tough, but I can never be a salty rapper. Found the music as a way to address my life and reassess my thoughts, rearrange my habits and retrace my dots, so I could call my shots and take back my odds. Had to open my eyes so I could never be a salty rapper. Rapping like I
found the music as a way to assess my life and retrace my dots, you know, rearrange my habits. You know, that's pretty self-explanatory. Like the music, I feel like I could translate my thoughts better as an artist. You know, I was never a good communicator. I'm still working on my communication skills, by the way. But I never really knew how to communicate my feelings in the past, and the music helped me. You know, it became an avenue of communication. I got to speak my mind through my music, and you know, it really helped me overcome certain types of you know, insecurities and defects that I thought that I had. And you know, it taught me how to communicate, you know, how to communicate my feelings, which I'm still, you know, learning to this day, but you know, we're getting there. So, you know, it also, reflecting on that makes me realize that I cannot be bitter about anything. Actually, I've been given the grace of having this gift to actually communicate to the people and reach out, you know? So I can never be a salty rapper. Yes, sir.
Rapping like I made it, cause I really will. Put that on my mama and my children's will. Tunes for the kids, had to test a skill. Contentment is a testament of how I feel. Even the ones that believe in you, that never had your back. And even that promoter been fucking up your bag and that internet drag.
But I can never be a salty rapper. Rapping like I made it, cause I really will. Put that on my mama and my children's will. Tunes for the kids, had to test the skill. Contentment is a testament of how I feel. You know, that's another affirmation. You know, I know, like I said, I don't believe in luck. I know where I'm supposed to be. I'm here right now. I'm gonna be somewhere else tomorrow. I'm gonna be somewhere else next year. You know, there's no such thing as luck. You know, I'm supposed to be where I'm supposed to be, and I know that God has put me on this journey to, you know, impact the world and impact youth and more people that look like me and are from the same place that I come from. You know, and then I reflect on more things that can make you turn into a salty rapper. You know, promoters not paying you on time, or Twitter, people going crazy, calling you overrated, calling you mid, calling you all sorts of things. There's so many things that could turn you to a bitter person, you know, but you can't let, you know, things like those, they're here today, gone tomorrow. They don't really carry any value. So don't let that make you a salty rapper. To the next individual watching this, don't let the internet drag and all the things that come with being an up and coming artist and being an underdog, and everybody wants to step on you, everybody wants to undermine your skill and your talents. Don't let anybody, you know, try to scare you like that. Don't let anybody try to make you a bitter person, you know. Just focus on your journey, consistency, you know. And, you know, just keep being yourself, man. Don't let that stuff make you salty.
Internet drag, but I could never be a salty rapper. Truth is, I'm an artist, I ain't never been a rapper. And most of the ones that say they love this shit really some actors. You just started spitting cause you thought that it was gangster, till you start hating on every kid that's coming after. Focus on yourself.
Yeah, truth is, I'm an artist, I ain't never been a rapper. And most of the ones that say they love this shit really some actors. You just started spitting because you thought that it was gangster, till you start hating on every kid that's coming after. You know, this was one of my favorite parts of this song, because I address some individuals who are not in it for the art. There's a lot of people who are not doing this because they love the art, but you know, they have other ulterior motives that are, you know, it don't coincide with the vision of the art. They're not pushing the artistry. And me identifying myself as an artist, that's why I come for people like those, because I don't look at myself as a rapper. I don't think I'm a rapper, I'm an artist. Next time you might find me singing, sometimes you might find me writing a book, sometimes you might find me directing a film or something. You know, so I'm an artist. You know, all engulfs in the art. So I bash people who do not really do this to push the culture, to push the art. They're just in it for the money, or in it for other motives. And you can easily tell who those people are. You could, you know, scope and see that this person is only in it for some weird reasons. So if you're not about the artistry, man, you know, go start a business or some stuff. You know, go do something else. You know, don't saturate the art. You know, because it means something to other people. Like, it means something deep to other people. You know.
Focus on yourself, consistency makes you a master. But the proof of the matter still, nigga, you a salty rapper. Yeah. Blame it on niggas, ain't probably get the message. When it's all said and done, homie, it's hidden in your essence. Pops hit me up and told me he gave me his blessing. Said your words are a weapon, the rule of the lesson. I can never be a salty rapper.
Blame it on niggas, ain't probably get the message. When it's all said and done, homie, it's hidden in your essence. My pops hit me up and told me he gave me his blessing. He said your words are a weapon. So the rule of the lesson, Dicey can never be a salty rapper, you know? So one of the most significant moments in my career was getting a call from my dad and him giving me his blessing to make music, you know? And knowing African parents, that's a big deal. That's a big deal for me, and just like seeing him appreciate my artistry made me feel like there's nothing else that could ever put me down, So I carry on with this encouragement to up-and-coming artists, up-and-coming artists especially. There's a lot of things that could put you down. There's a lot of things that can make you bitter. So by the time you reach where you were supposed to reach, you're just like a very bad person, and you're just angry and it's visible. So, if 400 people are listening to your music, those are still people. Those are still people who are, moved and gravitate to what you do. And, so many people obviously want to be represented by what you do, but yeah, that's still something. Appreciate every single win, 1,000 followers, 2,000 followers, 500 monthly listeners, everything. Just appreciate every single win, You need to learn, you need to create an environment of celebrating every single achievement that you, it makes you more humble, it makes you more, empathetic about like real things in life, just you get to see yourself in a different scope of progress, and it makes you more appreciative of life. So appreciate every win. 400, don't blame it on stuff like people not listening to me, people not doing what. Just do your work, focus on you. Consistency makes you a master, man. So when it's all said and done, bro, you're gonna see, fruits of your labor real quick.
I can never be a salty rapper. Blame it on so-and-so ain't probably heard of us. Blame it on 400 monthly listeners. I'ma still be pushing this pen till I'm 80. I'ma still be yelling out, fuck you, pay me. Couple years doing this, man, it ain't shit faze me. One time for the art, at least it saved me. Grind on a daily, patiently waiting. I can never be a salty rapper.
So I conclude this song, by saying, yo, I'm still gonna be doing this till I'm 80 years old. It's an acceptance, part of the last stage. I feel like, I don't know, there's stages of grief, but I think this is different. But for me, you get to admit that something is there. It gets to make you feel some type of way. You get to feel bitter about it, angry, salty, whatever. And then you get to choose how that affects you. You get to pick if, like that's gonna make you a bad person. And then you're gonna accept your fate. Acceptance is the first step of moving on, You gotta accept that something is there and you can't ignore it. You just embrace it and you move on, So the rule of the lesson, can never be a salty rapper. And that's Salty Rappers, man. Thanks for rolling with the TheDiceKid on this segment of breaking down the bars. I hope you guys got something from it. It's very important for you to read between the lines, because that's where the tension lies, Listen to the words, let them make you feel something. And, I'll catch you guys next time, bro. Get on, Dicey.
Yeah. Get on, Dicey. Rolling Stone, Rockefeller dreams. Everybody wanna be top dog. I had the type of vision that made so many minds jog. Never showed them a soft spot, but connected with the people on a genuine hot spot. Penmanship get lethal when niggas, I ain't my spot. I want it all. Cover magazines when my records spin on the radio. Populate arenas with dreams we made in the studio. Fly high, switching up the ratio. One for the bass, I'm a stereotype. Bury my fiends, carry my dreams to aerial heights. Son of the east on the rise. I need all of the lights, all of the lights. Never downplay the spirit reaching out. Heavy heart, always got some hard truth leaking out. Steeping out, fruits of hope, seeds that need to sprout. Little me at 16, plotting on how to make it out. I had bigger dreams, bigger than my fucking doubt. Pockets looking thin and my mouth full of loud. Got so many people betting on me, gotta make them power. Yo, gotta make them power. Hated the love it, the underdogs on top. And I won't stop, homie, until my heart stop. Go ahead and envy me. I'm Rash MVP, and I ain't going nowhere, so you gon' get to know me. Get on, Dicey, go, go, go. Get on, Dicey, get on.